Good morning. On behalf of the 10,000 Red Bull citizen soldiers in Minnesota, welcome to the headquarters of the 34th Infantry Division. I have the distinct honor of commanding a versatile, capable force with a proven track record that has distinguished itself in every mission that has been assigned. And just as Red Bulls have been successful in peacekeeping and warfighting operations in the past, so too will we be successful in this humanitarian mission. Minnesota is a nationwide leader in being prepared at the state level to respond to the Ebola virus. And the Red Bulls will be part of supporting a humanitarian mission designed to stop the spread of the Ebola virus disease and prevent it from becoming an epidemic that could spread to this nation and state. This morning I would like to provide you an overview of our mission, what our soldiers will be doing during the deployment, what our families can expect, and what Minnesota communities, schools, and businesses can do to support us during the deployment. First, an overview of our assigned mission. As Minnesotans are keenly aware, West Africa is facing a crisis of epidemic proportions. According to the most recent figures, over 14,000 people have been infected and over 5,000 people have died from the Ebola virus in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. The President has directed a whole of government response to this humanitarian effort to stem the spread of the Ebola virus. The federal agency in charge of this effort is the United States Agency for International Development, and the military has been directed to support them. The effort has been named Operation United Assistance, and it is working at the direction of the USAID to provide command and control, engineering support, logistics support, and training assistance. It is important to note that Army personnel will not be involved in the treatment of Ebola-stricken patients. The Department of Defense has about 2,200 military members currently on the ground. And when there are thousands of ground forces performing a complex mission, a headquarters element is required to provide command and control and synchronization. And in the case of Operation United Assistance, that headquarters element is a division headquarters, like the 34th Infantry Division or like the 101st Airborne Division, who is currently there and who we will replace. Now, some may ask, why was Minnesota's 34th Red Bull Infantry Division selected for this mission? It's simple. We are a capable, versatile, and proven force. We have the ability to lead forces in this type of operation, just as we have in the past in peacekeeping and warfighting missions as well. We train to the exact same standard as Army divisions do, and we are currently in what's called the Army Force Generation Cycle, meaning it's our turn to be ready to be deployed. Additionally, this past June we completed a strenuous Army evaluation exercise called Warfighter that validated our processes and systems in the eyes of the Army. Additionally, the 34th Red Bull Infantry Division brings unique capabilities and civilian-acquired skills to support USAID and our interagency partners and ultimately the people of West Africa. Our soldiers will have a very focused mission during this deployment. On a day-to-day basis, soldiers will be supporting USAID efforts to contain the Ebola virus and stop the spread of the disease. Specifically, we will be operating our headquarters in Liberia to manage all Department of Defense activities, like the establishment of staging bases, interfacing with international relief organizations, improving the capacity of medical treatment facilities, ensuring the engineering ability of USAID, and enforcing health and safety protection measures to mitigate environmental threats and protect our personnel, equipment, and infrastructure. And in the end, your Minnesota citizen soldiers will play an important role in setting the conditions to transition full control of this effort to other U.S. agencies, host nation agencies, or international relief efforts. But for preparing for a mission like this has its own unique challenges. I want to be perfectly clear. My number one priority is protecting the safety and health of our soldiers. We will work tirelessly to increase understanding and minimize any unnecessary anxiety. All soldiers will have the best equipment and the best training that is required to prevent the Ebola virus from affecting them. Our soldiers will not be providing direct care to Ebola-stricken patients. As a precautionary measure and to ensure everyone's safety, all soldiers redeploying from West Africa will undergo a 21-day controlled observation program to ensure they are free from the virus. Our equipment, our training, our procedures, and most of all, the discipline of our Red Bull soldiers will ensure that we are successful in this mission without putting our families, their forces, or communities at any unnecessary risk. Under my command, everyone will know that preserving the safety of our force is the number one priority. I recognize that military deployments are particularly difficult for our families. Our families provide the pillar of support for our soldiers, and separation due to military service is never easy. But we have made it through previous deployments to Bosnia, Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and we will make it through this deployment as well. And while the nature of this mission in support of Operation United Assistance sets this deployment apart from previous missions, our family readiness groups and our yellow ribbon networks will continue to form the foundation of our strength. I want to assure families that we have plans before, during, and after deployment to ensure that your soldier returns home safely. To Red Bull families, the safety of your soldier is my number one priority. We will take every precaution to ensure their health and welfare throughout this deployment. Before we deploy, soldiers will receive necessary equipment, undergo the required medical training, and receive a medical screening themselves to ensure that they are able and ready to deploy. While deployed, soldiers will be monitored twice per day and meet face-to-face with medical care providers to check for clinical symptoms of the virus. And when we return, we will follow the controlled monitoring procedures in place at that time. Our family readiness groups will be aware of the resources that are available so that they can help with our families and local communities to answer necessary questions and help with the anxiety. And one of our greatest assets will be our communities themselves. Minnesota has nearly 300 Yellow Ribbon Network companies, communities, and colleges throughout the state. And since our soldiers hail from 295 communities throughout Minnesota and reside in 13 states, that local support of our soldiers and families will be essential. I urge all Minnesotans to get involved in their Yellow Ribbon Network to ensure that they remain connected to our soldier and family for the duration of this important mission. Interested people can find the closest Yellow Ribbon Network at beyondtheyellowribbon.org website. One more item as it relates to our communities. An important role of the National Guard is to protect the citizens of the state and the nation. We are well aware of the large Liberian population in Minnesota and are proud to have been selected to deploy to help protect the families of our neighbors. As with the U.S. forces currently serving in Liberia, the Red Bull presence will provide confidence that something can and will be done to stop the spread of this disease. In conclusion, the 34th Infantry Division is ready for this critical mission. Our soldiers, your neighbors, are prepared to deploy to support this humanitarian mission designed to stop the spread of the Ebola virus disease. We will work hard to increase understanding and minimize unnecessary concerns amongst our deploying soldiers, their families, and their communities. Safety is my number one priority, and all soldiers will be provided the best training and the best equipment possible to prevent them from being infected by the virus. Thank you for your attendance and interest in this important mission. I look forward to your questions.